Welcome to Sharpshooting with Shuan, Ellis, where the ball never stops bouncing. We're talking hoops, hustle, and everything in between, breaking down the games as they happen. Another interesting week, but more than anything else, forget the week. It's really about the playoffs. And guys, sorry, I sound a little congested, so, I'm getting over something, so excuse me a little bit. But I am excited about our upcoming week. Obviously, it's the first round of the playoffs, quarterfinals. And we have some very interesting matchups this week. But I want to talk about the seeding first. So Lightwork completed the perfect season. They went 8-0. So they are the number one seed after absolute demolition, okay, and demolishing Hoosier Daddy. Now, we know what Hoosier Daddy is capable of, so there's no excuses here. Lightwork had this game circled on their schedule, and they look like it's like I've been saying all season. Lightwork hadn't put a four-quarter game together, and they're clicking on all cylinders right now as they just absolutely, from the first second of the first quarter all the way to the last second of the last quarter, absolutely destroy Hoosier Daddy. And at some point where we're even talking about, man, they might get the record, the scoring record. I think the scoring record is 187, but they didn't get quite the 187 or 185, one of those. But they didn't quite get there. They got to 107, but they beat them 107 to 102. I think the reason why I think this is such a great game is because it's the team they beat like this. Now, in the past, when neighborhood Misfits beat up on a team and they almost beat them by 100 and scored 180-something points on them, the team wasn't very good, okay? It just is what it is. This is Hoosier Daddy that they destroyed like this. So without a doubt in my mind, they earned this number one seed. And if you're asking me today, they are the top team, and they're the team to beat, hands down. Looking for their second ring and their fifth finals. And right now, I would say they are a favorite, which is why they are getting a bye week this week. So we move on to Ellis number 2. They're 7-1. They started off the season shaky, but I saw their potential. And once they kind of figured out their lineups and know who needs to play when, where, they have looked awesome, okay? They look like an unbeatable team as well. And they have a favorable matchup, I think, this week as well, as a consolation, I guess, for being a number 2 seed. So they have a favorable matchup against the Phenoms, who end up being number 7. We'll get to them in a minute, though. So shout out to Ellis, our number 2 seed. Hollywood, number 3. They get this number 3 seed because earlier in the season they did beat the Crunch All-Stars. So both teams have a 5-3 record, but Hollywood gets the edge because of a win they had against the Crunch All-Stars earlier in the season. So again, these matchups matter, guys. And when we start talking about seeding, you could get a favorable matchup based off wins or losses that you had throughout the season. A lot of you guys are just like, I'm really ready. I'm waiting for the playoffs. I'm waiting for the playoffs. Now you end up getting a matchup that you don't like, waiting on the playoffs sometimes, though. So they get a favorable matchup against Samoan friends who actually have been playing pretty well lately. So I wouldn't count them out in that matchup. Number 4 seed, obviously, is Crunch. At 5-3, they started that last week in the 3rd seed, but I knew with a win from Hollywood that Hollywood could possibly jump them, and they did. So we then go to, granted, Crunch had a great season. It started off with Ariel. Big John's had a great season too, John Como. But Ariel's been lights out. He's played well. He's probably the leader. And again, Steez has been big for him, man. He's been the shot maker for him, obviously. But Steez also has kind of been like, I guess, the outward emotional leader for the team. He's kind of coaching those guys on what to do. So they're going to be a very, very tough out, which goes into a matchup they'll have with Hoosier Daddy, who is kind of stumbling and limping into the playoffs, man. I would never thought I would have saw this, but they are. They're stumbling into the playoffs. They're a little wounded, but with that being said, you can't count an old dog out. Obviously, in most cases, I would say they're a favorite in most cases, but we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen because they're going to have a matchup with Crunch this week in their 4-5, maybe the matchup of the night. Our 6 goes to more friends who are not limping into the postseason. They played well for about 4 or 5 weeks in a row now, and were able to get 2 wins in the midst of them doing that, even a close one against Hoosier Daddy, where they went into overtime. So more friends playing really well. Cam's making all the difference in the world. Cam really should be in MVP voting. he should be in the MVP nominees, but you can't always reward losing. So his team hasn't had enough wins for him to probably properly be in that race. But let's see what happens in the playoffs, and maybe he can. If he can get a nice little upset here or there, we may have to really, really consider him. Now, the Phenoms definitely kind of limping into the playoffs, but again, they play some good ball at times during the season. So again, they're not a pushover by any means. And hey, they can shock the world. They come and shock the world come Wednesday. So we'll see what happens with them. But they are 1-7. Obviously, they're going to need Nate, and Nate's going to have to play well. They're going to need that scoring punch from him. Eric the Wolverine, he's going to have to do his thing, play tough defense, rebound, and make timely shots. Same thing with Swanson. He's going to have to just kind of be their big man in the post to be able to score around the rim and do some different things for him. So they're going to have to play a pretty complete game to really have a chance to win on Wednesday. But you know what? Considering those guys and who they are and they're tough, they can do it. And DeAndre's the catalyst who kind of runs the ship. So we'll definitely see what happens. And Chris York's been playing really well lately for them too. So it's going to be a very, very interesting. But let's get into these matches, what you guys really want to talk about. We got Cellulus versus Phenoms, 7 o'clock game. Not to make this any more dramatic than what it really possibly is. I'm going to go Cellulus here. They're 7-1 for a reason. They hadn't lost in their second game of the season. And they're unrolling. Now, you could call them the hottest. If it wasn't for what Lightwork did to Who's Your Dad this past week, I would say they're the hottest team in the league. They play really, really well. They haven't been challenged for about 4 weeks in a row now. And I can't say that they're going to get a huge challenge from Phenoms. But again, Phenoms are capable of playing a really complete game and playing some good defense. Like I say, in the playoffs, those games are usually defensive. So, and I think if a slow-paced game that becomes very much a half-court game, Phenoms have a chance. But I'm not going to say that they're going to win this one. I'm going to go Cellulus here. 77-72 Cellulus for the 7 o'clock game. Our 9 o'clock game. Oh, yeah. Yeah, actually, that's an 8 o'clock game to Cellulus Phenoms. 9 o'clock game is going to go to Hollywood versus Bo and Friends. Interesting game. I think it really comes down to Darren has played really well. Christian, Mo, Winston has played better. I think that he may be the X factor. I think he shoots well, and people have to respect his ability to score or shoot from the perimeter. That's going to be huge for them. Same thing with Dave. If Dave shoots well and rebounds, it's going to be huge for them. But if either one of them don't, and you put so much pressure on the rest of those guys, especially those smaller guards that they have, to continue to make plays over a 4-quarter game, it just kind of wears them down, and it just becomes very, very difficult. With Scooter having an excellent season he's having with Shaq, we got my guy O. He's always in the group chat, always kind of shouting everything out, making sure every guy's on staying on top of things. I like Hollywood at this. I'm just not going to lie to you, man. Scooters, like I said, is an MVP candidate. He's played well all season. So I have no reason to think that now that the playoffs are going to start that he's not going to play well now. So I'm going to go Hollywood here. I think it's going to be fairly low scoring. I'm going to go 74-70 Hollywood there. So last game of the night, 10 o'clock game, we got the Crunch All-Stars versus Who's Your Daddy. Now, again, Who's Your Daddy in the playoffs? I've never bet against them. It is what it is. But this is the one team that they have never beat. Crunch is 2-0 against Who's Your Daddy. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. Crunch is 2-0 against Who's Your Daddy. And be honest with you, the way the two teams have played throughout this season, I don't see that changing. As much as I like Who's Your Daddy and what they're capable of doing. Crunch plays together. They don't get rattled by too many things. And they just may have this group's number, man. It just is what it is. Now, granted, the last time they played, Ariel played out his mind and shot the heck out the ball to help them win that game. It's probably one of the games of the season. If you're just talking about big game performances, definitely one of the biggest games of the season by an individual player. But with all that being said, I'm definitely going to go with look, we know what we know what they're capable of in Who's Your Daddy. We know what they're capable of in Who's Your Daddy, but it got to get to a point where they got to show it. And they haven't showed it enough this season, even with E.T., Hall, and the rest of those guys out there. So I'm definitely going to go Crunch here. Sorry. I have to go crunch here, and this is going to be probably our highest scoring game of the night with some defensive stops down the stretch. I'm going to go 87-85 crunch. Now, I want to give a big shout out because I didn't do this earlier. Light work. Mike Wilson definitely had the game of the week. We didn't even put up a poll because dude was just that good, okay? But light work. Mike, man, this dude had 49 points, absolutely destroyed Hoochie Daddy last week and took the life out, took their heart in certain ways. When he got to playing like that early in the game, they knew they had no chance. They really did. They really knew they had no chance. So I just want to give a shout out to Mike for playing his tail off. It's been a different guy every game for them, light work. So, again, they're the favorites right now. But look, that's where the show's going to end today. We got playoffs this week, guys. It's going to be amazing playoffs. We got 3 games this week. Light work for putting in so much work. They get the off week this week. And the rest of you guys, what are you playing for? Again, they're the king of the hill right now, and there's no reason to believe that they're not. Can any of these teams knock off light work in these playoffs? I have my suggestions. I have my thoughts, but I'm going to leave that to you guys. All right? Coming from an undisclosed area, live here. I'm out.